Moving on to best new anime series. Again, Solo Leveling back up here. The nominees: Dan to Dan, Delicious in Dungeon, Frieren, Kaiju number 8, Solo Leveling the winner, and the Apocryphy Diaries. Which, correct me if weren't those the same?
Yes.
Yes.
Come on now.
Yes.
Come on now. So
So I
the best anime of the year was just introduced this year. That's what Crunchyroll is telling us.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thoughts, Jackie?
So I first oh sorry. I was like, what is the difference in this category? Because I was like, why is this even here? But then I did have to be like, okay, actually there is a difference because new anime is very much like this year you could have a top anime of the year and it could have been My Hero or Bleach easily, and that's not a new anime. So I understand why this category is here.
Yep.
I think what makes me the most upset is that it's just the same recycled like
Yes.
animes. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, also again makes sense what's gonna end up winning, especially because it's gonna be another popularity contest, so it's another fan pick. Um Again, do I think that Solo Leveling should have got best new series? I absolutely don't think it. Even if it did, even if I agreed that it should have been anime of the year, I would have not agreed for it being the best new series
Nope.
at all. Like, I didn't. I don't know if you guys like looked at like what all the animes were that could have been a part of. Like, there's a shit ton, but I only took what the ones that I knew that people were talking about or sharing a lot of, or that I've seen on like Facebook and stuff from a lot of anime pages. But there's just so many other newer animes that came out that I was just more annoyed that they just took the same exact anime for the year and put it into nominees as well.
I don't know.
I just
My thing would be like if this category was formed before they figured out what their anime of the year can. I wouldn't be mad at this. Like new anime that have came out this year, this would be a dope list. Or from October 1 of 23 till now, right? This would be a pretty good list. But yeah, and it just goes like, so you're telling me essentially this would be what some people say best new artist, right? So the best new artist, all the nominees for best new artist, and then you get to artist of the year, and it's just the same. Like, so nobody else,
Exactly.
none
so
of these other, none of these
nobody from the
other
continuing
standing,
series
yeah,
is just the only best came out this fucking year.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
that's it.
It's just this category. Sure, Solo Leveling can win this one. Did it deserve to win the best of the year? Absolutely not. So this category, sure. You know, it's one out of the new ones that popped up this year. It is one of the top new ones.
Now,
Is it the top of the year or the year? No,
I don't
That's like
absolutely.
so
I don't
sorry.
even
Will
think
you bring up artists? Like that's like Dochi winning best new artist and
now
like
I'm not saying it can't. It's been done before. Like somebody has showed up on the spot and just
Crushed it. Yeah.
won best new artist and best artist of the year. It's rare, but it can be
Yeah.
done. Is Solo Leveling that?
no.
People are
No.
watching Solo Leveling for the fights. They're not watching it.
Exactly.
They're not watching it for the story. They don't. Ask
No.
somebody who a side character is in Solo Leveling, and they'll probably be like the ant,
His sister. I don't fucking know.
The
His
ant.
sister was a witch.
his
Oh, wait,
shadows.
he went to the-
It's like
I'm like,
you got Dan to Dan showing up, breaking records. Now, the one thing I will say, I feel Delicious in Dungeon has been snubbed in a few of these things. That is such a
I
good
agree.
anime. Frieren, it's a heavy hitter, and like I said, we'll discuss across the other the industries that voted for it. Kaiju number 8 again disrespected when it comes to this. Recency bias and having fans come back and vote once a day turn this into what you see.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And
Well, so I did look up because I was trying to see like, is it a recency bias problem or is it just a
it's what you
popularity
see.
/ shonen problem? some of these came out, like Apothecary Diaries came out October 2023.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, and same thing with Solo Leveling, whereas Dandadan came out October 2024. So that's I did look at that to see like if that mattered. So I was at least happy that like it seemed like at least it was a little bit spread, but I think that the recency bias though comes into play with Solo Leveling coming out in freaking this year of 2025, and the voting didn't even happen until what, a month ago? Did y'all hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. I was just messing with the my audio over here, kind of messed up for a bit.
Yeah, I think that when you have the voting being coming out in, oh, is it, are you messing with the volume? Am I like too loud? Is that why?
It's on my end.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think the recency bias for Solo Leveling is the fact that the second season came out January of 2025 and the voting didn't happen until April, right? Or the beginning of May. When did the voting open up for Anime Awards? EJ, we can't hear you.
October 23, because it took all of winter 23 and then
No. When did they open up the polls to allow fans to actually vote? It was this year, April, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so when we talk about recency bias for when things released, I think it's because Solo Leveling also had a season 2 that came out in January, regardless of like when Solo, like Black mentioned it, regardless of when Solo Leveling like came out, because it was out again and everyone was hyping the second season. I think people were like, dude, Solo Leveling. They just like didn't really think about the first season, and they're just still like picking season 2 because of it came out this year and this season. In my personal opinion, I think season 2 was better than season 1, and that's what they are basing it off of, because by the time that they were voting, like Solo Leveling season 2 was ending. EJ, I think you're muted, by the way.
Yeah, it's muted.
You're right. I'm sorry. I was dealing with a little man. Yeah, I completely agree. Everyone's base this off of January's release of season 2, and they watched that and they were like, "Oh, it's the best new series." Yeah, but that's because you got fresh, brand new content just before you voted that was improved over the first season, which that's great. It's great. But it's, once again,
they didn't vote this off season 1. They voted this off season 2. These guys are noobs.
And we all know that.
And I mean, look at it. Okay, name any character besides Jinwoo that's important in that.
I know ones that'll eventually be important, but that's neither here nor there.
It's 100%, like you guys said. It's, hey, vote. Like if they were just like season 1, since I think of all of these on here, Solo Leveling and I think Apothecary Diaries are the only ones with season 2s either completed or currently going on. Now, if they just probably added that additional season 1 of Solo Leveling, do you think that would have changed it, or would have people just still been like, man, you see what's going on in season 2? Click, 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 click. It still voted for Solo
I think you're
Leveling.
right. I think it would have completely changed it if it just said season 1 only.
Well, it does. Like, it shows, like, that picture that is there.
Yeah.
I just, again, I think, like, we talk about recency bias. I think it's because those two are going on right now.
Well, I will say, because when you look at these other ones, like how to say season 2 Spy for season 2, season 7. Like, if you would have just put season 1 at the end of Solo Leveling, would have people been like, well,
yeah,
it was cool when he fought Egress at the end and said Arise. Yeah. That was dope. But outside of that,
yeah.
Compared to Kaiju number 8.
Music, I'm sorry, I even messaged you guys when I was watching it. The intro music for season 1 was some of the worst.
I like the opening, but I'm not going to say. Well, we'll get to that. I'm not.
Yeah,
it's just. I mean, it's much better in season 2, in my opinion. The music.
I think it's. I think regardless if they would have seen season 1, even for Apothecary Diaries, I think because there's a recency bias, because you're having fans choose this, and because season 2 is going on for both of them right now, that is what they're basing it off of what they just saw freaking or just recently saw for Apothecary Dies like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Like, and that's what they're voting on and not going back and like, oh wait, let me actually look at, which I will say that the first season of Apothecary Diaries part 1 and part 2 is amazing. But they're basing it, I think they're just basing it off of like the entirety of the show instead of, and
Yeah.
also the fact that they just saw it. So they're like, yeah, I just saw it. It's been so hype and I'm still riding this high because it was just like,
Yeah, and they're getting it's in their face on different chat rooms and stuff constantly, messages between each other, pictures. Yeah, so it won because it's in their face constantly, and they're counting season 1 and 2 over all these other guys. So
And then now you have rumors stating that the next season won't be out until 26, right?
yeah,
So then you're going to have Crunchyroll Awards next year, and all they're going to have is season 2 of. I mean, this will be nominated, obviously,
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and they're just going to vote for it still. Like, would that carry? I mean, we have the rest of the year to see if anybody steps up, but would you feel good if season 2 of Solo Leveling wins Anime of the Year?
no.
Okay, just checking.
No. And I mean,
I think, I mean, action,
wondering if
I think
that's why they
action,
delayed
yes.
it.
I mean, we'll talk about the genres, maybe action, but like, I hope people are realizing it's just, I mean, the only like character
Agreed,
development they saw in season 2 is because he, the episode with his family. And so I don't want to spoil it for anyone. So like, that's like the biggest one.
Yeah, it's important to know that range. Jen's right and Black's right too. The range is important, and Black's right. Out of this list, Kaiju number 8 and Apothecary Diaries had great, brand new kind of content that was just different. I mean, for me, Freerun too. Freerun came in and just flipped the script on how going from straight action to drama, and it's still
You might
caught
have
everyone's
14-year-olds that are like the ones that are voting for this, because I don't know if either, I mean, and maybe I'm wrong, but if I want to think of when I was in middle school, or if I think of like shonen 14-year-old mindset, I don't know if I'm going to be very interested in Apothecary Diaries and Freerun over Solo Leveling.
Yeah. And that's a shame, because I feel like we are feeding them the fast food of anime. And the more popularity it gets, it knocks it up there, and it kicks down the other stories and then you start to have to where, I mean, shonen survives on short attention span. I mean, you can have it playing, doing something else, and just flipping back when the action hits. You don't really need to know. There's nothing going on that Sung Jin-woo's doing in his life outside of the action that's integral to the story. So you're like, oh, I missed all of his conversation with that dude at the hospital. Who cares? He just beat the shit out of that monster. That's all they need to know.
Yep.
So, unfortunately, I feel like that really skewed this. All the things we just mentioned skewed this to where it picked up the win.
That was a good analogy, by the way, Eric, of the fast food of anime. I liked that.
I will say this too: the way I know people are just not caring about any kind of story development when it comes to Solo Leveling. The episode that was, I guess, the biggest critiqued one, where people were like trying to give it negative reviews.
Yes,
was the episode where, obviously, if you've been following the story, his mom's sick, he's raising his sister. He goes on these absurd, super difficult quests to get the ingredients to create this elixir to heal his mom.
the dude got crushed to death
He
just
finally-
to fucking get to where he is.
He finally brought the elixir to his mom, healed her. He started crying. People are like, oh, this bitch ass dude crying and stuff. Like, that is what I'm talking. But then go to the Jeju arc. Oh, this is the best thing I ever seen in my life. Oh, that's how I know.
Yep.
The people, they just want to see the flashing lights, the flashy fights, and they're not taking the entirety of this thing in.
Which is also why when you say best new series and best new anime, but people bitch so much about one of the most critical, like, episodes.
Hey, Amanda.
I thought I was crying, and I thought everything was great about it. And you're telling me, sorry, we're talking about season 2, and this doesn't even matter.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, the weight of the story is what makes the rest of everything going on have an impact. If you have no weight, when he's fighting the creatures in these high level dungeons and stuff, and it's just to get to the next power level, you're MMOing my story. I'm losing any kind of individuality or connection to this character because all he's doing is leveling, getting more powerful, and getting to the next grade up. And you're not giving me the why and why I should give a shit. I mean, honestly, you know, I mean, when they did give us that, like Willie said, people were immediately like, "Oh man, I don't care for that episode. That episode's garbage." Like,
All he did
yo,
was
that was the only
cry.
episode that made you feel like this character had any depth.
I don't want to cry. I don't like feeling feelings. This hurt
Go
my
fight
feelings.
somebody.
Yeah. Oh,
Go fight somebody. But
go fight somebody. Is he gonna fight his mom? Like.